It's Josh and Derek in the morning.
What is this?
It's so stupid.
You know you're going to get kidney stones drinking those, right?
So the only time that I drink those is when you see me. I drink one of these on the podcast every week. And then if I have a day like I had yesterday where I have to see you again, I got to drink another.
Am I just that taxing?
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. If I didn't see you, my consumption of energy drinks would go down.
All I'm saying is I saw you last night on the food truck and you had one of those. By the way.
And then what's the common denominator?
Is you.
You. I got to deal with you.
So on the food truck, hey everybody, welcome to the Aggressively Medium podcast.
Yeah.
But
so sidebar. I didn't even notice this until like yesterday. How long we've had the new intro for a while, and it doesn't say anything about aggressively medium. So it just says it's Lee and Derek in the morning, or Josh and Derek in the morning, and then it goes into the podcast. But
hilarious.
This is the aggressively medium podcast.
It is still.
Yeah.
Aggressively mediumer. So I got to see you yesterday at Church of the Highlands, first Wednesday.
I was swamped.
I had the food truck out there, and when I got there, church had already started because I was late. So I walked right out there, and I was first in line. It was great.
Wow.
And I will say that you gave me what I'm affectionately calling the Matt Gregg Bowl.
The Matt Gregg Bowl.
Which, if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah. So we have a new sandwich. We've actually been talking about this for a while, and I hadn't tried it, but I did try it last night. After you got it, I got a sandwich with it. I rarely eat grilled cheeses off the truck anymore.
Don't blame me.
Because, you see them so much.
You get burnt out.
Yeah, real quick. But anyways, so we have a new sandwich that we have been working on, and I think we were going to call it like the piggy or the three little pigs or something to that affection, or the oinker. I don't know. We hadn't figured it out completely yet. But Matt Gregg, gluten intolerance means he hates gluten.
I know.
He can't even tolerate the thought of a gluten, which is, between him and the church.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, he can't have gluten, and so he gets us, if he forgets to bring, sometimes he brings his bread, his gluten-free bread. And we don't do this for everybody. We just do it for him, because I know the health department won't kill me because it's him. He's not going to rat me out to the health department that we're serving some off-the-shelf bread. Anyways, he comes out, and if he doesn't have his bread, then he gets us to make him a bowl. And he was like, just make me whatever. And I was like, okay, what do you want? And like most of our mixes have breadcrumbs in it too. And so that doesn't really mess with him as much as like a full thing of bread. He can, and so, but last night I was like, well, we've got the pulled pork. Do you want that? And he was like, yeah, just make it good. And then Paige was like, we should do the other thing. And I was like, I mean, yeah, we should definitely try it. And so it is pulled pork, chunks of ham, and then bacon and cheese.
It was delicious.
It was really, I really enjoyed it.
So you can have that sandwich be called the Three Piggies or whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if it's a bowl, you got to call it the Matt Gregg Bowl.
The Matt Gregg Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah. I can
and
do
you got to
that.
give him a royalty of a free bowl every time he's there.
Yeah. I can do that.
That seems legit.
I'll do that even if we don't have the same, because he got a free bowl last night. You got a free bowl.
I did too, and it was delicious. And I appreciate it very much.
Most people who I know very well probably are getting free sandwich. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Somebody handed me their phone last night. Like, so they were going to do Apple Pay. So hand me your phone. Like you're going to do Apple Pay. So hand me your phone.
Oh, hand it to you right
Yeah.
now?
I went, boop.
That's fine.
And they were like, what? I was like, I'm not charging you. Like, you're one of my best friends. Why would I charge you?
I won't charge you for your insurance.
Yeah.
No,
well,
I can't
man.
do that. I can't
Hey.
do that.
Yeah. Hey.
Department of Insurance.
It's on the podcast now.
Department of Insurance, if you're listening, that was a joke.
I want free insurance for life.
Yep. That's not going to happen. I would lose my, I can lose my license if if I pay out of pocket for somebody's insurance.
Really?
Like I don't have a way to not charge somebody. That's not possible. But if I were to take money out of my wallet,
makes sense though when you think about it, because you could have an insurance policy on my house, and then it burns down, and then you collect the insurance money. Like you could have a policy out on a house you don't even own.
Technically, you can't. You have to have insurable interest.
Well, but
it wouldn't pay out. You could pay for it, but they just refund your premium because you have to have insurable interest in something in order to insure it. It's like with life insurance.
What?
Yeah. So I can't take out a life insurance policy on you.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess I technically could because you're my co-host in the podcast. That could be considered insurable interest. But
yeah.
I can't take out insurance on some random guy off the street.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any reason to have insurance on him. Like
Gotcha.
if he dies, I don't lose anything.
What about their house?
If his house burns down, I don't lose
No,
anything.
I mean like my house. Like if you had an insurance policy on my house.
I don't lose anything. So I don't have insurable interest, so I can't insure that. Technically, the policy wouldn't get through.
Can you break down what insurable interest means? Because you keep saying that word.
Insurable interest means that you have it's different for everything. So on a house, you have to own the property, or you have to be so you could be an owner of the property. So if me and you own this house together, I could do that.
Yeah.
Or if I was a mortgage company, I could do that because I have an interest in the property. If the property burns to the ground, it's going to cost me something.
Gotcha.
That's insurable interest.
Gotcha.
Or in life insurance world, if if you die, am I going to lose something, or am I going to need
emotionally?
And that's what I'm saying. Podcast host, co-host, I could probably get away with it.
Honestly, you should take out, or Monster Energy Drink should take out an insurance policy on me.
I agree because you drink them 7 times a day.
Actually, Monster Energy Drink should take an insurance policy out on you. Because if you pass away, then I'll have to stop drinking Monsters, or I won't have a reason.
I see where you're going there, and I guarantee you nobody at home followed that, but I did.
Well, anyways, what are we talking about?
I don't even know now. Speaking of random stuff.
How was your Christmas and New Year's? We haven't seen each other. I know the podcasts have still been coming out.
Yeah, but we haven't
seen each other.
It was great, man. We didn't go anywhere.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And all right, my gift that I got?
Yeah.
Probably the greatest gift that I've ever gotten.
PS5.
No.
Oh.
Even better. And you probably won't care about this, but I got Braves season tickets.
Ah, cool.
And I'm so pumped about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Danielle got me four seats for the full season, so I got 82 games or something like that.
Jeez. How many of those you going to?
Maybe like 5 or 6. Yep.
Thought that counts.
But no, I'm going to be so it was very intentional. So I could sell half of those and get most of my money back for what she paid for them. But then I can also give away a bunch of them too to like friends and stuff. So I've told everybody I know,
yeah,
you want to go to a Braves game, just hit me up. I got 4 tickets. You can go anytime that I'm not going.
That's awesome.
But that also, because we got the full season, gives us dibs on postseason tickets. So if the Braves go to the playoffs or the World Series even,
gotcha,
I can buy those tickets up front for face value.
Nice.
And if I don't go, I can sell them.
Yeah. Still make your money back.
Make way more than my money back, yeah.
That's awesome.
So, anyway, super pumped about that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so I had a pretty legit Christmas too. Awesome. But we got, my father-in-law got us a solo stove.
Whoa, I love it.
Yeah, it was
have y'all used it yet?
Yeah, the day of Christmas, after Christmas got done, from like 11 a.m. to like 10:30 p.m. there was a fire going.
That burned a lot of wood.
It burned a lot of stuff.
Okay, a lot of cardboard.
A lot of cardboard,
wrapping paper.
A lot of wrapping paper, no plastics.
Of course.
And then also a lot of wood. We did use a lot of wood, and that whole tree that was in my backyard. This is the first time I burned any wood off of it. So,
wow.
Maybe we'll continue to burn wood. But
so did I tell you I got a solo stove like earlier in the year? So I got a solo stove, and it's a pretty cool story. We so I order one. I'm part of this thing. It's called GovX.
Yeah.
You get,
I use
GovX. So there was a 40% off deal for solo stoves. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna splurge. I'm gonna go for it. So I bought the Big Daddy.
Yeah.
The Tundra 2 or whatever the big one's called. Well, so it comes in, and I'm pretty happy with it because I got 40% off. It comes in, but it's got a big dent in the side of it because somebody dropped it in shipping. And I'm like, man, that sucks. So I email them. I'm like, hey guys, things showed up.
It's whatever, but
yeah,
still.
if you don't mind, just send me let me know how I can return this one and just send me another one. So
Yeah.
I want one that's not dented. So they emailed me back and were like, hey, we don't do reships.
Makes sense. That's a lot.
Yeah, but send us some pictures and we'll see what we can do for you. And so they sent me pictures and they're like, all right, yeah, it's definitely dented. But they didn't say, so yeah, they're like, it's definitely dented. So here's your options. We can either do a store credit, or we can do a like 10% off and you just keep it, or we can refund your credit card for you. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want a dented one, so I'll just take a refund, whatever, and just let me know how I can send it back to you. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll refund your card. You should get it in 3 to 5 days. And that's all I said. And I'm like, so I respond, hey, thanks, that's awesome. How can I return this one? They're like, oh, don't worry about returning it. Just throw it away.
Yeah.
So my solo stove has a dent in it, but it was free. I just turned it around to the back.
Yeah. Hey, you got to get them where you can get them.
You
We've got the bonfire, which is not the Big Daddy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still, the bigger one, I can see now where like the bigger one would be good. But and we also got the mini solo stove. It came
like
with
the
it.
tabletop one?
Yeah, you
That's
bought you buy the big one, and then it was like a combo thing. I also got a PlayStation 5.
got a PS5? Let's go!
Been wanting one for like 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. That's literally awesome. For like 3 years. Meg's been like, "What do you want for Christmas? Or what do you want for your birthday?" And I'm like, PS5. Christmas will roll around. She's like, "Did you get everything that you wanted?" And I'm like, I wanted a PS5. Like, that's literally the only thing I asked for. And then after every single one of those instances, she would be like, well, I can get you one for the next, like whatever the next thing is, birthday or Christmas or whatever. She's like, but that's the only thing you're getting. And I'm like,
okay,
fine. That's cool. So my birthday this year, I was like, I'm not going to get my hopes up like I have every other birthday and Christmas before this. Packages come to the house for Christmas or for my birthday, and I'm seeing the packages come in, and I'm like, that's not it. That's fine. It's whatever. And then there's one package. I walk downstairs in the morning of my birthday, and we're not going to open them until like that night or something. And I look and I see, and I'm like, "Ooh, that
could be it.
Could be it." But in the same time, I'm like, "Don't stop. Like, just stop getting yourself hyped up. Like, there's no sense in this, because it probably isn't going to happen. Because they're extremely hard to get. I don't know if you know that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Today, you can't go anywhere and just buy a PS5.
Why?
They're out of stock everywhere.
How long has it been out?
A long time, like at least 4 or 5 years. Stock still hasn't caught up. And
so that's got to be by design.
I would almost assume that it has to be.
Yeah.
But like that, it's not anything that PlayStation's putting out and saying,
right,
hey, I mean, I could turn around and sell mine for a profit today because people just can't find them.
Really? You should do that.
No, not at all. But anyways, so I open the gift. Like, it's the last gift. Like, Meg's like, I want this one to be the last one. And like, it's like that internal like yin and yang all day. That's like, yeah, no, yeah, nah. And I open it up and it's an ice maker. And I was like, what? Is it? She was like, yeah, you sent me that TikTok. And I was like, yeah, cool. Awesome.
Is there a PS5?
I'm so excited. And then later she was like, did you get everything? Did you like the ice maker? I was like, I thought it was a PS5. And she was like, I feel so bad now. And I was like, it's fine. And then I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna buy my own. Like, I'm just gonna buy it. Cause like I'm cool with it. I'll save up, I'll buy it, no big deal. She's like, no, I'm gonna buy you one for Christmas. And then like 2 weeks before Christmas, she was like, I can't get you a PS5. So I made it happen. We made it happen. I got a PS5. That's fine.
So you bought your own Christmas gift?
Pretty much. It's fine. I got a PS5. That's all I wanted. Suck it, world.
I love it.
I'm
glad Meg doesn't listen to this too.
Well, I mean, this isn't anything I haven't told anybody 100 times now.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
But yeah, I got a PS5.
That's awesome.
Also got. Well, did you do anything for New Year's? Did y'all have anything going on?
Man, we went to the Jacksons, Justin and Daphne's.
Oh, nice.
During the day. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I had people over around noon, watched football,
Yeah.
cooked out, hung out, have fun.
I think Justin Jackson listens to this.
Well, what's up?
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Loser.
It was only for his friends.
Exactly.
No,
Thanks for the invite, loser.
But we were home by 7:30.
Yeah.
And it was great.
That's awesome.
And my younger two kids were in bed by like 8 or 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and Caden just laid on the couch watching football.
Nice.
And then I fell asleep like 12:15. And he was like, evidently tried to wake me up. I don't remember that. But he was like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to bed. So
Yeah.
he went and got in bed by himself.
We went to the football game.
The Bama game?
Yeah. Yeah. Because she got free tickets from somebody, and it's in New Orleans, and she had family down there. So we went with some friends of ours from a small group that we met 2 semesters ago. We took them down there, gave them free tickets to the game too, and it was a lot of fun. We drove down there the day before the game, and then went to the game, and then left the day after the game. And so I drove down to the game, didn't get any sleep that night, and then we left we went to we were leaving Meg's mom's house at like 8 a.m. to go, because they were like, it's going to be traffic. There was no traffic. And so we just like drove into the city, and I was just like, man,
So
this
much traffic.
seems like a waste of time. And then after the game, we had like 12 hours until midnight. And everybody's like, let's stay. And I was like, okay.
Can I
So
take a nap?
yeah, I wanted to take a nap so bad. But I mean, we had fun. We went to Harris down there, had some fun. We went to Bourbon Street, just walked around, went down close to the river, watched the fleur-de-lis drop.
Fleur-de-lis.
Yeah. And so
That sounds like a drunk guy trying to say Florida Keys.
fleur-de-lis. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. So big thing I want to talk about with Christmas and stuff on the podcast. We've been talking for 17 minutes.
Wow. About nothing.
About nothing. So for Christmas, I wanted to get, I've wanted this specific fanny. We talked about my other fanny pack.
Yes.
I wanted this fanny pack. I got the other fanny pack because it was very convenient. It was close. It was relatively inexpensive. But this is the fanny pack that I wanted because this is the fanny pack that I'm going to carry. Like, this is, for me, it's Sheepdog Response, Tim Kennedy's company.
I'm just going to say while you're getting that, I didn't think that I would ever say this, but I like the whole hipster carrying a fanny pack meets guy carrying a pistol.
Yeah.
I like it.
You know, it's to me, it's the best way to carry.
I can't rock a fanny pack, but
well, you know, you barely ever see, like, it's not out, you know, in the world for everybody to see. But so you have a pocket up front right here. Oh gosh, I haven't taken the tag off yet.
you don't want to cut it off?
No. Because
in case you want to return it.
Oh well, I can't return it, but that's another story. There is a cell phone pocket in the back, so you can drop your cell phone down in there. It has another pocket on the inside. This is a holster. This doesn't fit my gun. It fits mainly.
Let me just buy that real quick. Did that stick?
No,
it's like semi-sticky.
Yeah, this is not supposed to go here.
Oh,
I put it there.
Oh,
because I don't use it.
Oh.
But so this is completely Velcro, and it's very strong.
A lot of Velcro. Don't knock your drink over.
And then you kind of have like this free-form holster back here.
I want to know how that sounds.
So loud, probably. But so you got this little, you got this holster back here that, when it's positioned in the right spot. Oh, also there are mag holders on both sides.
Both sides there, like it.
This goes back over the top of this, and so theoretically, you open the fanny pack, And
you can't really see it.
And you can't see the gun.
Yeah.
So if you have to access something inside the fanny pack, it's still concealed.
I like that.
But I mean, I really do like it. It fits. I mean, it's pretty big. I mean, I've got a red dot, full mag. This, I wouldn't say this is a full frame gun. This is more of a medium.
Yeah,
it's right there on the edge.
It's not like a Glock 17 size. See, I only know Glocks, so that's what I compare it to. But yeah, it's not. I mean, it's pretty close. Put the mag in. That's pretty close to a 19, though. Yeah, that's every bit of a 19. The grip is probably a little bit longer on a 19.
Yeah.
But that's every bit of a 19.
What's funny is the 509 compact is shorter than this, so it's like that. But then the magazine has like the extra piece of the grip, and so it's like this really isn't a compact.
Yeah,
because it's still huge. Like this is the medium and the compact with the mag in are essentially the same gun.
Sure.
But yeah, I've got my red dot on there now too. So that's really nice.
Did you get that? Did they send you another one?
No, because it works. We just both have astigmatism.
Not nearly as bad as it was.
Yeah, but so you do have astigmatism. We found that out about you the other day, and you didn't know that.
I don't.
You do.
It's right. No, it's not doing what it was anymore.
Is it yeah, it's not doing that currently with me. It's all about like lighting conditions and other stuff. But yeah.
So astigmatism,
it's just the shape of your eye is different.
But doesn't that mean like at night I would have
the starburst effect?
Yeah.
So it can be super pronounced, and then it doesn't have to be super pronounced.
Because I don't have it at all.
You don't have it at all?
I don't think I have an astigmatism. I think that's just wrong.
I think you do.
I'm gonna go to an eye doctor.
Yeah, please tell me.
I will.
But yeah, so I plan on kind of like rocking it, maybe like that, like with the strap going over the top right there. I was doing a bunch of draws like this the other day, but I think I'm gonna rock it like that. I put about 200 rounds through it the other day.
Where'd you
go? My mom and dad's house.
Oh.
But yeah, if you are in the market for a fanny pack, Sheepdog Response tactical fanny pack, I think is one of the best like bangs for your buck.
Yeah, I like it better than the other one.
You like it better than the other one? Yeah, this one's more of a like it looks more like a fanny pack than this one. I mean, this one still doesn't look super tactical or anything.
But when you see that 511 on it.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to take that off.
Yeah. Is it 511?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, as far as like width-wise, this one is definitely smaller. Height-wise, they're real close to being the same. But this one feels bigger because it doesn't have the cutouts. But yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, and you can store more stuff in this one too. Yeah,
and I mean, the way they tell you is like have an IFAK in here, have like a tourniquet, have some gauze and stuff. Tim Kennedy puts a Constitution right here.
I love that. I've got one I'm going to bring you next week.
He rocks it. But yeah, so super cool fanny pack. It's the Sheepdog Response low vis waist pack.
I love it.
And I love my mom a lot. She ordered the wrong color. And so I contacted them. And I mean, this is a good business practice. Huh?
Did she order pink?
No, that's the color she ordered.
Oh, cool.
I wanted black.
Oh, I like that color.
Good
job, Mom.
Yeah. It's still a good product, but I kept going back and forth on like, do I want the black? Do I want the and so I contacted Sheepdog Response to get like, hey, I want to exchange this one. And they're like, it has to have, and they were willing to do an exchange. They said it has to be in the original packaging with the original packing slip, and it has to be unused. And so I didn't have the original packaging or the packing slip.
Yeah.
And they charge a 20% restocking fee. And I have to ship it there. And so I was like,
how much was it?
It was like $60.
That covers their cost, the 20% restocking fee.
Well, and
like guaranteed.
It's, to me, I'm not mad about the 20% stuff
Sure.
because like,
yeah, a lot of the development costs and other stuff goes
or
into
just like, man, I worked in clothing before, and how bad does it suck to like, okay, yeah, like let me send you, I'm going to send you a shipping receipt to send it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then is that even worth it?
Yeah.
Or I'll just send you a new
shirt.
And it's like, you know, I'm sure their mentality is we're not in this to lose money. Completely understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would have had to pay for shipping there and shipping back. So essentially I was like $20 off of just buying another one.
Yeah.
And so that's what I bought the black one, and then I'm probably going to turn around and resell that one because I will never carry that color.
Sure.
There's nothing that like, it's not that the color irks me. It's just like my black would go a lot better with like 90%. So if anybody wants a tactical fanny pack, I'm
$20 right now. You $20.
Ooh, not $20.
You said you were $20 off of it.
Yeah. Well, I would have been $20. That one was
$21.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, so yeah, tactical fanny pack, anything that makes you carry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't care if it's a fanny pack. I don't care if it's a, you know, an
My
ankle
wife
holster
carried in her purse.
Yeah.
The other day for the first time. Her and some friends went out to the movies, had a girls' night, and she was like, "Hey, I'm going to the movie theater. I should probably carry." I was like, "Yes, you should."
Yes, you should. So, there's a really cool. I'm getting one. It's another holster for that, like a specific holster for that. But they make a ton of like sew in or stick in
holsters.
Yeah, but but it's like a Velcro. So you just put one end of the Velcro in the bag, and then the sticky part goes on the gun. And so you just put the gun with the sticky part in there.
Huh.
And so then you can and you can easily like remove it. Like, I mean, I could technically take one out of a purse and put it in there, or we're inside of a jacket, or.
So I like Kydex holsters because you can carry a round chambered.
Yeah. So they make Velcro Kydex.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
This one, mine had a clip, so I just clipped it onto the inside of her purse.
Yeah.
She wasn't comfortable carrying chambered, so unchambered around for her. But yeah, she I was proud of her.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've got a little 25 I'm gonna get Meg to carry, and we went and shot it the other day too, just to get her more comfortable and all that stuff. But yeah, I still need to zero my red dot in. I don't think it's fully zeroed in.
Really?
And I was off a little bit the other day.
That's a problem. It is that in Tuscaloosa we don't have anywhere to shoot.
Man, dude, there's such a freaking problem.
There's the public range, which I've been to one time.
Out in the middle of.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. You got to go down this 12-mile dirt road.
Yeah.
And then there's probably going to be some idiots out there that are pointing guns at you, trying to act cool. The only other place that I'm aware of that's a public place is Warrior Ranch in Brookwood, which is a decent range.
But it's still out in the middle of nowhere.
But it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's only open to It's not open to the public during the week.
Yeah.
So in order to go during the week, you have to either be law enforcement or have a membership. Membership is $50 a month. I'm not going to go more than once a month. I'm not going to pay $50 to go shoot a gun.
Yeah. If it was closer in town, you probably would. If it was in the middle of town.
Yes, but there is a place that is a lot closer to town. It's called Tuscaloosa Shooting Sports. I'm trying to figure out more. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to join. But it's supposedly it's like $600 a year, somewhere around there. And they've got different ranges. I may try to join that. But
well, if you join
what
that,
I'm really looking for, I'm trying to buy land right now.
Yeah.
And I've got shout out to my buddy Slade Johnson. He's a realtor, land realtor with Tut Land Company. He's been helping me. We've been looking at probably, I don't know, a dozen properties or so.
Yeah. So
I want to find a place where I can have a pistol range though. Like I want to have some hunting land, like 100, 200 acres, something like that, where I can carve off, 2 or 3 acres and have like a gravel pit with like a pistol range set.
Yeah.
There.
The so this is, and I have friends with land as well. my biggest thing with that is it 9 times out of 10, it's still 30-minute drive.
Middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's my land, I'm willing to drive that. You're not going to find anything 5 minutes from your house unless you go to Tuscaloosa Shooting Sports, which is probably 5 minutes from your house.
It's probably 5 minutes from here. I hate having to drive, and because it takes up so much of your day, like especially with kids and stuff now. Like I can't just drop like, hey, I'm gonna go for 3 hours to go shoot or 4 hours or however long. You know, I mean, anything really over an hour and a half is pushing social boundaries, I guess. You know, but. Or just like my personal preference of boundary. Like, I don't want to
I don't want to go shoot for half a day.
Yeah, exactly.
This seems exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, I shot 200 rounds the other day in an hour or 400 rounds in an hour. And so like, to me, that was an acceptable amount of time that I can get some range time in.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, Tuscaloosa needs a way better system because the system right now sucks. So, speaking of driving crazy, did you see so in the news, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a Tesla. So here we go. Tesla driver is charged with intentionally plunging his family off a California cliff.
What?
So
why do they specify that he's a Tesla driver?
Couldn't
he also be a Toyota driver?
It always happens. It always happens. So this is the thing: a Tesla driver has been arrested and charged with intentionally driving off a cliff in Northern California in an attempt to kill his family. Law enforcement officials said. At about 10:50 a.m. local time Monday, officials received a report of a vehicle over the cliffside on Highway 1, about 20 miles south of downtown San Francisco. The CHP said in a press release Tuesday, inside the white Tesla, about 250 to 300 foot down a cliff. Next to the Pacific Ocean were 2 children, a 4-year-old boy, a 7-year-old boy, and 2 adults, both 41, who all survived. This man drove his Tesla off a cliff. It fell 250 to 300 feet, and everybody inside was alive.
So what starts off as a Tesla, like a jab at Tesla, turns out to be, oh, wait, it saved their lives.
Yeah, dude. And if you,
that's funny.
Have you, I mean, let's see if I can find the off a cliff. So there were some pictures the other day of like kind of road view. This is a decent one here. So up here is the road, and down here is the Tesla.
Jeez.
So I mean, it fell. There was one that was like from like eye level with the road.
So did he get charged with anything?
Yeah.
So he's in jail.
He's getting charged with
attempted murder.
Yeah.
Good.
But I mean, dude, that fell off a 250, 300 foot cliff. And it doesn't.
Were the kids injured?
Yeah. Everybody, I think the kids ended up being less injured than the adults. So I think the kids had minor scratches and the adults had to be put in intensive care. Or it could have been the other way around. But either way, I have seen a lot worse.
No kidding.
From a lot less of a distance.
Yeah.
So
That's funny that it started off trying to get a dig at Tesla.
And then it's like,
oh, wait
a minute. Everybody's alive.
I've seen so many since Danielle started going down the
Tesla sucks route.
Say what you want about TikTok. It's freaking garbage. But it is because of some things that it's convinced Danielle. She's like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense at all. It's just people are telling you. So yeah, anyway. But I've seen so many things that people are posting like a one-off story of a Tesla catching on fire, or oh, in the cold weather, people couldn't charge their Teslas. Well, they couldn't pump gas either because the power was out. You moron.
That's it, man. It's so like,
and it's so frustrating because I just want to be like listen to what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too,
and I'm not even a Tesla driver.
Elon said this recently. He was like, he said, we don't do any advertising. Like we've never had, like, you're not going to see a Tesla ad on the Super Bowl.
No.
But here's the thing. He said, maybe we should start so that news organizations can't talk crap about us. Because like that's the like
because they're not paying them.
Yeah, because like you don't see a Chevrolet owner drove his family off a cliff. It's a Tesla driver. Like it's always like this negative. Like you don't hear a bunch of stories about the Chevy EVs catching on fire.
There's way more of those,
and they
guarantee.
Yeah. Well, the was it Spark or something? There was a Chevy Volt. They had to recall every single one of those. Like recall, not just like, hey, there's an update for your car.
Yeah.
Bring in your car because
it's gonna kill you.
They're all catching on fire. But that's not out there because advertising dollars.
GM pays a ton of money.
Exactly.
You know what else? Who else does that though? Is Yelp.
Really?
So I've never, because people warned me. So they've tried to get me as a State Farm agent to advertise with them. And every State Farm agent that's advertised with them that I've talked to about it has said that if you ever stop advertising with them, they move all of your negative reviews up to the top and delete all your 5-star reviews. So you look like a terrible business. Yeah. And I'm like, that's so dirty.
The best thing to do is just not even start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another one, another company that was like that. I don't know if they even got off the ground, but it's called Gayborhood. And what they do is they call you and they say, hey, do you want to do business with gay people? Just like that. And so when they called my office and said that, my receptionist at the time.
Are you sorry you're breaking up?
No, my receptionist at the time was like, yeah, I mean, like.
That's fine.
Like, yeah, we'll do business with anybody. Like, we don't discriminate, which we don't. But it was like, all right, cool. Well, we're Gayborhood. Like, we advertise to the LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign community. And they, there's tons of people in your area that, are looking for your services and yada, yada. We'd love to come in and sit down and talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Well, she schedules a meeting with this guy for me.
Nice.
And then tells me about it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll listen to him. So he comes in. He's like, yeah. So he does his little sales pitch. And he's like, so do you want to do business with gay people? And I was like, so hold up. Like, that's wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, you don't come in here and be like, if I don't pay you money, that means I don't want to do business with gay people. No, that's not the case at all. But you're being extremely manipulative right now. And I'll be honest with you, you don't have the reach. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, if I could get way better than that, just advertise on Facebook. Like, you don't have it yet.
Yeah.
And I never heard from him again. But it's just like, that's so manipulative.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me.
I hate stuff like that, man. It's like pull you in. So speaking of business stuff, there's a company. Trying to figure out what this guy's name is. Duncan Wardle, Wardl. So he does this thing where he says, like, you need to ask what if ridiculous questions. He says Disney does it all the time, and it's like you ask these ridiculous questions in your business, but then you find solutions to it. Like, it's like, so. The one example that he brings up in this video is there was like a glass company who they were making like cups and stuff like that out of glass. And so you got 26 employees, cardboard boxes, and 6 glasses on the top, 6 glasses on the bottom, and you repeat that, like putting them in the boxes. And they're separated by corrugated cardboard, and the glasses are individually wrapped in newspapers. And they were having all this glass breaking. One thing that they realized is most of the time when the glasses were being broken, it was because the employees were reading the newspapers. So like they're supposed to be like wrapping with this newspaper, but then they would like bump it or whatever. And so they asked this ridiculous question. The what if question was, what if we poked all their eyes out? Because then they can't read the newspaper. And it's like, everybody's like, that's ridiculous. You can't do that. very audacious statement. And the lady sitting next to him said, wait a minute, what if we just hire blind people? And his production went through the roof because nobody's reading the newspaper. And like they're not, and it seems counterintuitive too that like the blind people aren't breaking as much glass as the non-blind people.
Why not just use blank newspaper?
It's probably cheaper to get used newspaper.
But you're breaking so many glasses that it's got to offset.
Well, but I mean, he said
I'm a solutions guy.
Production went up 26%, breakages went down 40%. And the British government gave them a 50% subsidy for salaries because they're hiring disabled people. All from asking like a ridiculous question. Just to where are our inefficiencies? And then just asking like this, like a silly, seems like a silly question. And then you come up with this crazy answer that ends up saving you bunches of money.
What if we held everybody at gunpoint and forced them to buy a grilled cheese sandwich from Cheese Louise?
So we can't, but we can find
hungry people.
Yeah, yeah, we can find hungry people.
So I looked up this guy's website, Duncan Wardle. Have you seen his logo? That is straight up Disney.
Oh yeah, well he worked for Disney.
Oh
yeah.
Like the Mickey Mouse ears. You see it on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Mickey Mouse. Yep. That's funny.
But
that's cool. That's really cool. I'm all about innovation and finding out better and easier ways to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Dana White.
So have you seen this stuff in the news?
No.
Okay. Well, so let's back up to Dustin Wardle guy.
Okay.
He is really big right now on you need to be figuring out now what you're going to do when the next pandemic hits.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's saying, we had SARS, we had Ebola, we had
they're going to keep out, and they keep
bird
worse.
flu, swine flu,
and
then COVID. And he said, could you take a 75% hit on revenue for 24 months? Because in a lot of businesses, that's what happened. Mm-hmm. So he said, what if we went to the consumer? Mm-hmm. That's what he did with Disney. Was movie theaters 75% reduction for 24 months.
Yeah,
that's when Disney Plus came around. Because
when did Disney Plus come out?
It was I think it was right around the pandemic. But I mean, more people.
It was November 12th of 2019.
Yeah, so it was right before the pandemic.
The pandemic, you mean?
Well. So then they started pushing like new movies onto Disney Plus because you couldn't get anybody in the movie theater, and so like let's push that, and then that brought Disney Plus subscriptions up a lot. So
I just find that very coincidental that they 3 months before the
pandemic
before the movie theater shut down. They've got all these movies they're about to roll out. Now they automatically release their platform. I'm just saying.
Well,
get a little tinfoil hat on here.
So, anyways, Dana White.
So I did see something about it.
Yeah. So Dana White on New Year's Eve smacked his wife around. There's a video on TMZ.
I've not seen the video.
So she slaps him first. They're in an argument in like a VIP.
So was it self-defense?
In a club.
Just kidding. He's Dana White. You don't get self-defense.
But yeah, he ends up, she hits him and then he smacks the crap out of her back. And then like, it looks like he tries to keep going in for some, after he smacks her the first time.
Did he forget he was not in the UFC ring? Did he ever fight UFC?
No.
Okay.
No. I think he's done some martial arts training and stuff, but he's never fought.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because he comes out and like releases this big apology, It's like, hey, we've been together for 30 years. We've known each other since we were 12. We've been through some stuff. This is completely out of character for me. There was alcohol involved, but it shouldn't have happened. Blah, 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 blah. He's like, we're not focused on this. We're focused on our kids because our kids saw the video. We showed our kids the video. They saw it, and we're trying to like deal with that. But there have been UFC fighters before who have been caught on camera hitting their wives.
Uh-huh. And he cuts them. Huh. So not a double standard there.
There's never a double standard.
Yeah.
When
But what does he
boss.
do? Doesn't he own it outright?
I think so.
So
I don't think it's a publicly traded entity either. And so,
have you heard about the new one that's coming out though? The Professional Fighting League.
which one?
It's called Professional Fighting League.
Oh, the PFL.
Yeah, PFL.
It's been out for a while.
It's new.
Well, it's newer, but it's.
I just heard about it today, so it's new to me.
It's
so they just signed Jake Paul.
Oh my god!
Did you see that? I saw that this morning.
Not.
They signed Jake Paul. And
this isn't some sort of.
Like he did a video of it and everything.
Are you freaking kidding
Yeah,
me right
like
now?
he did. Turn it up.
I can't believe this is true.
You read the title correctly. I'm officially signed as an MMA fighter to the fastest
I hate this guy.
sports league.
I hate him so much.
The PFL, baby.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
So
Here's my thing. Given the news from Dana White and
Hey.
now this, I don't know anything about fighting, but that just seems like good timing.
yeah, so PFL has been around for a little while, not a terribly long time, but they do. It's interesting because they have like playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. So like
That's
there is
cool.
a season to the PFL, and like you'll have somebody fight multiple times within the year, which is something that we're not getting out of the UFC. PFL fighters get paid more, which is consistent with almost any other mixed martial arts. But
It's kind of like the LIV for golf.
yeah, but I mean, well, like any of the like
They get
Bellator,
paid more.
Bellator gets paid more
Mhm.
than UFC. All these other like smaller organizations get paid more, but the UFC also puts a lot more like stuff back into the company.
Mhm.
So like the UFC,
Right.
but like this is the first time you've heard of PFL,
Right.
and it's been around for years.
Yeah.
So like I get like the fighter pay side of things, like they're not getting paid enough. It's like, well, they're getting paid.
How much
A
are you getting
good-
paid? Like what's
Depends
the
on the
average?
fighter. Let's see. We can Google it.
Like
Average.
take a fighter that's in the UFC and take a fighter that's in PFL.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the pay gap there
For
for the same fighter?
UFC versus PFL.
So like if Jake Paul's getting paid $10 million to fight PFL, how much is he getting paid at UFC? 1 million?
Let's see. Difference between PFL. That's not pay. Let's see. Pay. I think that's going to be an extremely hard number to find.
So we're just gonna say it's 1 million.
Whoever wins the PFL, like your season, you get paid $1 million.
So it's $1 million.
It's $1 million if you win.
How much is UFC? I was thinking UFC was like millions
It
per
depends.
fight.
Well, it depends on. Like
Like if Mayweather goes in and fights whoever, I don't know.
Mayweather's not UFC guy. So the average fighter made.
Shows how much I know.
He's a boxing guy. The average UFC fighter made $160,000 in 2021, up from the average earnings of $146 in 2020. There are 256 fighters earned six figures in 2021, up from 219 in 2020. 116 fighters made less than the average U.S. income of $25,000. The highest paid UFC fighter was Conor McGregor with $10 million without pay-per-view bonuses. And so you've got 42% of the fighters earn six figures or more.
Okay.
And then you've got.
That just seems like not a lot of money to get your brains beat out.
I mean, but like, here's my thing about
Like
it.
if somebody offered me $100,000 to go in and fight, have to do one fight, I would absolutely
against somebody that was equal.
No, again.
No. That's the thing is
They are equals.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're like,
but they're equals on another level. So like, if I go in and fight somebody at my equal now, they can't do a whole lot of damage. If I go in and fight somebody, if I'm Conor McGregor, and I go in to fight another equal, like they can do a lot more damage to each other than me and my equal.
Yeah, but also
I'm not going to fight at that level. For $100,000.
Well, no, you're not going. Conor McGregor just got paid 10 million. Like it said, 10 million.
His equal didn't.
His equal got paid a lot of money though.
Did he? More than $100,000?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
And
that's the thing is like
$10 million. I'm still not. My brains
you're like a low level guy. Why do you expect to make?
You
fight one time a year. Why do you expect to make $1 million?
Would you? Here's a what if question for you. Going back to our buddy. If somebody said, "Hey, I'll give you $10 million," but you have to fight Conor McGregor as he is now and as you are now, $10 million.
Sure,
you could die.
I mean, I could, but that's $10 million.
That's just not like the brain damage that you would walk away from.
No, dude. Here's the thing. I'll say this. I'll say this also about the UFC. I'm not as well versed on PFL. I'm not as well versed on Bellator. I'm
not. I'm talking about
BKFC. Hold on.
Dude that could destroy you.
Hold on. BKFC Bare Knuckle Fight Championship. They had a guy die this year.
Yeah.
After getting knocked out because of their concussion protocols and because of their they don't do the things that the UFC does.
Sure.
Like the UFC, and that's one thing about the UFC is like they're really good at stopping fights when they need to be stopped.
Okay.
They're really good about fighter health.
Like one punch from Conor McGregor, and I would not be the same.
Dude, I think so. I think you would.
I may be wrong about that.
I think you would.
I'm not a doctor and I'm not a fighter. So
here's the thing. The fight between you and Conor McGregor or me and Conor McGregor is going to last all of the amount of time it takes him to get from one side to the ring to the other. So like
I'm gonna tap out before he even touches me.
Well, legit. You get punched one or two times and you're hitting the floor.
Absolutely. One time.
Unless
he gets a second one off.
You know what the judge is going to do? They're going to stop the fight.
Yeah.
And so like I think $10 million to get punched one or two times is fine. Like I think it's withstandable. But if you were of that level, $10 million, you deserve the money that you've made because you've made yourself a brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guys down here on the low end who aren't doing as much, they fight one time a year. They're like, they just made it into the UFC.
Sure.
Why do you expect to make $1 million?
But they're making six figures though. Or no, they're not making six figures.
They're probably not making six figures.
So
it depends on your hype, though.
But here's the thing:
if you
that's the same with baseball.
Brand,
that's the same with baseball. Minor leaguers get paid like if you're, especially if you're like AAA, $1,500 a month only during season. Like,
yeah.
Like you don't get paid squat.
Yeah, there's no, and the UFC has more fighters than anybody else. 256 fighters on the roster.
Wow.
PFL doesn't have that. Bellator doesn't have that. Nobody has that many fighters on the roster, and so it is a distribution of the pay that gets. And I mean, the UFC is still a company. They're still a business.
I am all about the top talent getting the top money.
Yeah,
and the bottom talent getting the bottom money. I have no problem. Like, I think WNBA players get paid way more than they should. I'm sorry, they don't bring in any revenue.
Yeah,
but so I'm not saying that I think that should be dispersal. I just wanted to clarify that.
I saw this. I can't remember who it was that was talking about. It's the kid who he got hit in the chest the other day.
Oh, DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah. So I saw like an ESPN guy talking about that, and like my heart goes out to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
His
heart went out too.
Well, that's it for today, folks.
I'm just kidding. He's gonna be okay. That's why.
Yeah. Well, and so the like seriously though, like if something were to happen to that guy, I hope he gets taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? He would have for sure.
Well, here's the thing, and I heard this guy on ESPN talking, and he was like, this guy was upset. He was frustrated. He was essentially saying like these guys, like every time something happens on the field, we always say my heart or my prayers and wishes go out to this guy. He was like, I'm tired of hearing about that because you don't even sniff a pension in the NFL until you've hit 5 years. You don't. And then he was talking about all this stuff that's like, this guy has a signing bonus of $160,000 and he made $800,000. So essentially this guy made $1 million in a year. And he keeps going on about like, well, like we should have guaranteed salaries for these guys. We should have healthcare benefits for these guys, blah, 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 blah. And to me, as like the lay person
Mm-hmm.
who's hearing this guy, like, again, not taking anything away from this guy's injury and what happened to him, and that he should be taken care of if he were to have a career-ending injury.
Sure.
But as the lay person, you've got a guy who's on national television telling the lay people about a millionaire who might come under some financial scrutiny. And it's like, you just told me this guy made $1 million and I'm supposed to care about anything after that. Like with his well-being or any, like if he made $1 million, it's on him if he spent $800,000 this year. You know what I mean? It's not on me.
Right.
I shouldn't have to take care of this guy.
Right.
Or I shouldn't have to care that this guy, I mean, he was in financially ruined himself. I'm not saying this guy did, but if you're telling me that this guy made $1 million, that's way more than anybody's going to see in their life. A lot of people are going to see in their lifetime. If you take $1 million and you spend it frugally, you can make it last.
Yeah.
But
especially if you invest it.
Yeah, exactly. But you're telling me I need to care about this guy's pension when I don't know if my pension is going to be there. You know, it's like,
I get that.
It's this weird.
Yeah, but as Americans, we put so much more, and I don't agree with this, but we put so much, like we treat professional athletes as heroes.
Yeah.
When they're not.
Yeah.
And I saw a sign the other day, kind of changing topics here, but I saw a billboard that said it was a thank you to Senator Richard Shelby. And it said a true American hero. And I'm like, is he a true American hero?
Did he serve? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it didn't have anything to do with his service. It was all about his Senate. Like he was in Senate for 30 some odd years and then in the House of Representatives for 8 years before that. So dude
like
served
he
like
got paid a salary.
Years.
Yeah.
To line his own pockets. Because I guarantee he's coming out of the Senate a lot more wealthy than he went into it.
For sure.
Most of them do. Do I have a problem with that? Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should. I think if you're going to serve in the Senate, you shouldn't be paid. That's my. That's my. I think if you're wanting to go into that role, you should already have it set up your personal finances where you don't need money for that. That's my own thought. Is you can poke holes in that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Nobody probably agrees with me. But my whole beef with that billboard was, what about the dude that went overseas and actually fought?
Yeah.
Like, that's the true American hero, not this dude that sat in an office surrounded by guards making decisions.
And that's partially my other thing. Like these,
and that's no offense to Richard Shelby.
I don't know. These guys we're talking about, like these guys go on the field every single day and they can die out there every single day. Like when's the last death in the NFL?
During a game, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Now soccer is more recent.
Well, and then I agree with like the concussion stuff, like the what's the CTE? That's hurting a lot of guys. Yeah. Understandable. Those people need to be taken care of. Also, they should be able to take care of themselves to a point because they've made more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime in a year. And there was this whole big thing recently too about it was so hard for the people off the field because they saw this guy die in front of them and then get brought back to life. Yeah. All this stuff. And it's like, what about the paramedic that was there who probably took that guy to the hospital, left there, and then had 4 more calls exactly like that night that weren't millionaires and that weren't
$60,000 a year
and that didn't have access to high quality CPR immediately. Like the thing that really saved that guy's life is high quality CPR.
Within 3 minutes.
Exactly.
Like, it was instant.
Exactly. And like he probably went to at least one call that night where somebody didn't have that and they didn't come back from it. And so it's like, so you're telling me I got to care about a guy who made $1 million this year, but I'm the guy who made 60 or less. If he's a paramedic, he probably made less than 60 just with an ambulance company, like regular ambulance company. He might have made 50, 60 somewhere. That's just like his cap.
He didn't make what DeMar Hamlin made, which was
not even close. But he saved that guy's life. Where's his compensation?
Sure.
Like that's the guy. Like I don't know.
What would be cool though, and this would be a feel good story, is if
he'd come back and
if the Bills came back and were like, "Hey, we appreciate your service. We're gonna pay your house off."
That would be nice.
Yeah.
also,
It would
what
absolutely
about
be-
everybody else though?
Yeah, no.
What about the guy who comes to that
I agree,
game
I agree.
every single game?
But Buffalo Bills, if you're listening,
Yeah.
there's some really good publicity. for
Yeah,
you.
but the paramedics who show up every single game to make sure that those guys are healthy and taken care of, and if that happens, like they're sitting on G waiting on O, they're ready to go. Like those guys,
I've never heard those.
they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
So if that happens again, like are they going to pay that guy's house off now just because he saved one guy's life at the football field?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's probably saved multiple lives.
Yeah. But he saved the right life then.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
I get it.
It's very frustrating. And like to see all this stuff about like, oh, well, I don't know, can we keep playing football after this? Because we all saw somebody's life.
You're talking about that night?
Yeah.
So,
But I'm not saying they should have continued the game. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Sure.
There's a tragedy that happened. There needed to be time. There needed to be. I don't care about the schedule. I don't care about whatever. That doesn't matter to me.
right.
The thing that matters to me is you're telling me about this guy who made more money than I'll ever see in my life. Probably will make more money than I'll ever see in my life. And I'm the guy that's on the field, or I'm the guy who's at the hospital, or I'm the guy who is whatever. I'm one of those people, and I'm supposed to care about this guy's well-being when he gets dementia. And I get dementia, and nobody gives a crap. Or I have PTSD
So let me ask you this.
from the call.
Should you care any less because of the amount of money that he makes? Like, does that make
I
him
don't
less
know.
human?
I don't think that you should care less based on how much money that they've made or how much money they didn't make. I think we should all care
The same.
the
I
same.
don't think you should care more.
Yeah, but if
But I also
you-
don't think you should care more because the guy that gets paid $30,000 a year had the same thing happen. I don't think you should care more about that guy than you should about the guy that makes more.
No, I think we should care equally about the same. But I feel like the big thing that this guy was talking about was like the financials. Like what happens if he had a career-ending injury tonight? He's in the NFL for less than 5 years, so he doesn't get a pension. He's not vested. He doesn't have a medical payout or anything like that. Like,
So that happens. Career-ending injuries like that happen way more than you would realize.
Oh,
so
I'm sure they do.
My high school offensive coordinator was he got drafted by the Cowboys.
yeah,
And in spring training, the very first year before his rookie season, before he ever even played a game, he blew out his knee and like there went his career.
Yeah.
He didn't get paid squat for it. So like that happens way more than you would
I'm
realize.
sure it does. Yeah,
And so it's like, now this is a very drastic situation. Like dude almost lost his life.
Yeah.
So this is getting a lot more attention. And I think it should. Like, yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, look how many people have prayed for this guy because of that. Which,
Yeah.
come to find out, like, some reports are saying, like, he's a very strong Christian, like, family first guy,
yeah.
which is great. Hopefully that gets some light shed on Jesus that way. But, like, this career-ending injuries happen way more than you would think.
I'm sure that. Yeah,
And so that's why it's so important to be smart with your money. Like,
that's the thing.
and, like, if you took – so I looked it up. His salary – his contract was $3.6 million over 4 years.
Yeah.
So he's getting paid after
It's like
$910,000 a year
Yeah, plus his bonus.
plus bonuses.
Yeah.
But that's if he gets them. It's not a guarantee.
Yeah,
So it says his base pay in 2022 would be $825,000. So if he were to take that, and let's just say you want to go and live nice. Let's say you live off $250,000 of that. That still leaves you, almost $750,000 to invest.
yeah,
I could take $500,000 and invest that into real estate right now, and you never have to work again.
yeah,
Like that's just 1 year, and that's just 1 year.
yeah.
You can go live big the rest of the 3 years of that
But
contract. And go crazy.
instead,
Well, I don't
you're
know with
gonna-
this guy.
yeah, not
But
this guy specifically,
there are a ton
but
of guys who will go and blow that money on
Lamborghinis and
private
big
jets that
houses
they
and
can't even
private
fly
yeah.
and all this nonsense. So yeah, that does happen.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more people who don't do that, who are smart with their money.
I would hope
instead.
so.
Yeah. And I think that's becoming more common as they see, hold up, my teammate over here who grew up on the streets the same way I did.
Yeah, he blew out his knee, and then he's never playing again.
No. He's taking his money and buying or investing it and being smart with it. and now he don't even have to worry about his NFL salary.
Yeah.
Like, what? How does he not have to worry about his $10 million 5-year contract salary? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot more of that coming out, but
I hope that there is, because
especially with the NIL deals. That's a whole nother
yeah.
podcast. We can talk about that all day.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Good organic episode.
Yeah.
Always like
There's
those.
a lot of organic in there.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about everything, so that's good.
We got more topics for next week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for spending some time with us. And y'all have a great week. We will see you next time. Man, if you're not watching on YouTube, go back and watch Josh's face. It's a thing of beauty.
I'm just so happy.
That's going to be our thumbnail right there.
Probably.
See you guys. Y'all have a great week.
See ya.